Hello, welcome to another round of Holomania. Today we have Baku versus Mumei's voicemail, 16th seed versus 22nd seed. And this is a loser's bracket match, so whoever loses here, I'm unsure, but I believe whoever loses here goes home, as this is our quarterfinals round. And I believe we're gonna have a tight match with Shokoha, Nanon Bandusty, and Paven for Baku, and Mumei's voicemail being Polytetral, Aina, and Online. So I believe warm-ups will be starting. If not, they're already probably started. And I believe we're having issues on the streamer side. Alright, I believe we're back on the streamer side. As I believe warm-ups will be starting. So we are having a bit of technical difficulties on the actual streaming side, not the Twitch stream, but over here on Discord. So just stand by, as I believe this is only just warm-ups. This is just warm-ups, so it's not gonna matter whoever wins this. Okay, we have the preview already, so I can actually commentate now. Yep, and I just reassured myself, whoever loses is going home, and whoever wins will be versing deadbeats, I believe, or deadbeats, or the quiche janitors. This map showing no remorse at all. These stacks transforming into screens. I don't think Light Petrol will be. I believe when we might see some hands off the keyboard, as everyone seeming to show off their density or how well they're able to show off the density and how well their density is. Like I've said many times, you don't want to stress out too much on warm-ups, seeing how more dense how more dense and stamina taking this map pool is starting to get now. Seeing as we're now, I believe, almost halfway through this tournament, as we are in quarterfinals. As that concludes our first warm-up. And I believe that was Baku's warm-up. I think we'll now be heading into Mumei's voicemail, unless they've already played their warm-up. Unless they've already did their warm-up, and we will either that or and its rules. Oh, and as it seems like either Mumei's voicemail already did their warm-up or they did not have a warm-up, as we're heading into rules now. Ollie Petra rolls the grand 11 points. And Shoko actually wins the roll by double, or no, that's 5 times. Not a full critical roll, which that means Baku gets the first pick automatically. And they're gonna choose the band first. So that means I believe Mumei's voicemail will have the tech here. Will not be surprised maybe if we see some Rice already off the bat, maybe getting protected, or even some of the LNs or hybrids, since we have added one more Rice pick to the pool and one more long note pick to the pool. Or if they feel comfortable enough and they feel like they have it, and they're going for dispatch. I was about to say, if they feel comfortable enough to go for a protect on SV, and they will protect SV, which is SV2, which is dispatch. Now we head into Baku's protect. I will not be surprised if we see maybe some, like most definitely some long notes or some hybrids up seeing how well they did in the qualifiers. As I think they placed 8th or 9th in the qualifier results for long note, and as Baku not seeming that happy about Mumei's voicemail protecting dispatch, but they're gonna protect Rice 3, which is, I believe, is Shiny's Smiley story. Yes, it is. Now we head into Baku's ban. As we saw earlier, they don't feel comfortable with the SV2 getting protected, so we might see Excuse My Rudeness getting banned here. Unless their team has maybe practiced it like a couple times. I feel like in Excuse My Rudeness, ghost tapping is your best friend in this. But maybe we can see some of the more dense picks, more like Phony maybe, or Venom, one of the more like technical and real dense picks. Or seeing some long notes maybe, but it's all up to the team, as I believe they're probably discussing on what they want to ban. And they go for LN2 for their ban. Although I believe it was Baku having the advantage in the seed placements in long notes for the qualifier results, they're going for a ban here. And as we're going to see a Phony ban, like I said, this map is real technical, I believe, and is also quite dense, so I'm not surprised if it's way not like, you know, it's far out of their comfort zone. They don't want to risk maybe like, you know, breaking on something like the bursts, or maybe even dropping a couple 200s, swinging that lead over. But as now Baku gets their pick. And if you were not here for the showcase, it is no longer a 1st to 4, it is a 1st to 5. And they will be picking Rice 3, going for their Protect, I believe, already. Yep, Baku already going for their Protect, which is Shiny's Smiley story. As we're gonna see Nenon Paven for playing for Baku and Polytetral and online for Mumei's voicemail. As I believe Einar calls for timeout here. As Polytetral gets swapped out with Einar, unless they're just switching around in slots. And I believe we're ready, and the MP start has been thrown as we are underway with our first map of this match. And also, while we're here, there is another match going on. It's What's Hololive Anyways versus the Tambourine Club. Oh, never mind. I believe it was a win by default, actually. Yeah, it was a win by default for the Tambourine Club, as we are now underway with our first map for Baku 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 versus Mumei's voicemail. Nenon and Paven already showing their dominant accuracy with both of them above 99.8, as Einar also above that 99.8 mark, but online seeming to find a little bit of trouble at the beginning, but only behind by not that much, as they'll most likely be climbing up just after this little jump stream part. As they still find a little struggle, but then again, this is we're only a quarter into the map. Nothing too much to worry about for Mumei's voicemail. Anything could happen. And I believe, and Paven drops, and I believe there was also a 200 from Einar, as I believe they might have dropped the 200 earlier. But yeah, Paven drops, which is going to give Mumei's voicemail that slight lead. As Paven and Einar are now tied with accuracy. Despite that drop from Paven, they're still keeping that dominant accuracy, not being too far behind from the rest, as Nanon is the highest accuracy out of everyone here with a 99.8. As that lead is finding a slight shrink, it could even take just one combo break from any person from Mumei's voicemail to swing that lead over to Baku Baku Baku. As Paven finds their way back up to the 99.77, which I believe is what they were at before they broke. As they catch up with Einar, as Online and Nanon are fighting with accuracy here. Everyone just fighting with accuracy, as everyone's basically tied now. As maybe even now, a couple 200s could even seal the deal. As we head into the final quarter, the map is not over yet, as I believe we have one little hand streamy / jump stream bit coming up. And as we and I don't know if that I believe that was Bancho, unless that was an actual drop. Nope. And what? Yeah. Okay. As we wait for everyone to sync up, Bancho just trolling us here. As Paven finds another drop, which is gonna swing that, just make that lead just slightly larger than it was before. As the map is closing, and it's gonna give Mumei's voicemail the first point of this match, as both players budge to not find any misses there, as we have a three-way full combo. Almost everyone with 5 200s besides Paven, who dropped a little bit at the end there, but still keeping a pretty decent ratio. 242 300s coming from Paven, 329 from Einar with the 993k FC, and Online, despite that 150, still holding a 992k with a 375 300s. And already Mumei's voicemail is going for SV2, which is Dispatch. Their Protect. as Polytetral is swapped out or swapped in with online, as Shoko not finding much confidence in their own team, but I'm sure one of their teammates probably practiced. This map is pretty easy to sight read, honestly. Just listen to the beat and you will most likely have the rhythm and you'll hit the SVs perfectly fine. I think the only thing that's really going to throw the players off are those rolls that I believe is fast jam and transition into that little jack section, which is mainly what this map is. As the MP start has been thrown and we are underway. As we start off with a little slow jam beginning. Polytetral holding a pretty impressive 99.9 already, even though we're not even just 200 combo in. This map with a real tricky beginning, with the slow jam, as this is the rolls that I was talking about. As if you just listen to the beat itself, I believe you can notice the pattern down. But as Paven chokes up on those rolls because of that little fast jam that is also included with that roll, which is giving Mumei's voicemail a significant lead, as both players from Baku drop down to a 98, as Polytetral holding a 99.5 and Ina with a 98.9, as they're just... Is there anything really much to say for Mumei's voicemail, as Polytetral is just destroying this map at this point? As Paven has a 98.4, climbing back up almost to a 99.5, 98.5, as Nanon has a 98.8, almost climbing up to that 99 range. But I believe everyone, well, not everyone, but most people dropped on that little part right there. As we head back into the jack sections and these rolls that are easy to slip on, but I don't think anyone's having any problems now. As like I said, it's easy to figure out those rolls if you just listen to the song. And no one finding any drops at all in that little section as we head into the final. And as soon as I say that, Einar is starting to drop. But Polytetral is still the only one here with an FC, as I believe Polytetral is going to be saving their team here, as they give Mumei's voicemail their second point. I believe that was an FC. Yeah, only 14 200s from Polytetral and only one miss from Paven, as Polytetral with a 175 300 FC, which is quite impressive despite it being an SV pick. As Nanon with a 942k 2 miss, which is actually really decent for... I don't know if this was a sight read, but if I had to say, this would most likely be a sight read, seeing how uncomfortable Baku was with Mumei's voicemail protecting this. So they might have not played it, or they might have played a couple seconds of it, and then they probably just alt tabbed and just quit. But as Baku goes for Rice 1, which is I believe is the core jack pick, actually. So this one's more physical, being 5.4 stars. But despite its low BPM, 110, I will not be surprised if this is a quite dense core jack pick. as we see a switch out from Einar and Nanon, with Einar getting switched out with Online and Nanon being switched out with Shoko, and as Paven and Polytetral both stay in for this. As the MP start is underway, and Mumei's voicemail looking for their third point here to increase that lead. As everyone from Baku still holding, as soon as I said it, they dropped their auto bot, as still everyone holding on pretty well, even though seeing how quite dense this map is. Almost everyone above that 99.9 range, as Polytetral just behind by a little bit, but Online with a 99.98, showing a statement here, as Shoko isn't too far behind with a 99.94, as basically we're almost tied here, as Paven finds their way almost down to a 99.8, but still keeping in that 99.9 range, as everyone is above a 99.9, which is quite impressive seeing how dense this map is. These are two teams that are just really good at playing dense stuff, as we saw in the warm-ups. I believe almost everyone had an S rank on the quite dense Jack warm-up that Baku put. As I believe it will mainly just be whoever drops their combo first, or whoever drops the 200 first. I believe everyone is still V1SSing. Paven dropping their accuracy just by a little bit, but that could be just a 300 rush. Seeing how even just a little bit of 300s can throw off your accuracy just by a little bit, but everyone seeming to find no problem with this map. I believe everyone's still having that V1SS. As we head into a little break section until we get back into those 10 score jacks. I will not be surprised if someone starts running out of stamina. Seeing how mainly this map consists of you switching from playing triplets to quads, and just as the jacks are just not dealing well with people who don't have good stamina. But everyone with a 4-way V1SS, besides Online, I believe I did not see those 200s being dropped, but that ratio giving them the 998k, as Polytetral also has a 998k, but everyone above 995k, and almost everyone with V1SSs, as Mumei's voicemail takes their third point here. And that is going to be a statement, as honest as Baku wasn't too far behind, actually, as I believe we're gonna see the next SV map being picked from Mumei's voicemail, which is honestly, in my opinion, my favorite map from this map pool, which is Excuse My Rudeness. I believe the one thing that's going to slip up these people is the second half, or the second. You'll see. I will let you all in on what I mean. But like I said earlier, ghost tapping is your best friend here. As we wait for everybody to, and yet the MP start is thrown, and I believe we have some changes, but I'm gonna have to check the MP real quick, as the beginning is already quite rough with a slow jam turn. You don't want to be tricked by those little slight scroll speed changes just by the music. Like I said with Dispatch, I believe if you just listen to the song, you'll find no problem playing this map as well. If you can just listen to the beat and time your notes to it, I believe you can just fly through this with no problems at all. As Mumei's voicemail having that slight lead, Polytetra with a 99.8, as Shoko isn't too far behind with a 99.72, as Nanon is almost above that 99.5 range, as we head into one of the more, as we head into the teleports, which could slip some people up. But like I said, oh, and that's a 100 from Einar. A lot of 200s coming from Einar there, as that's gonna swing the lead over to Baku, as they almost dropped down to a 98 there. But thankfully, they still keep their accuracy in that 99 range, which is gonna keep that lead refraining from getting any larger. So it will even just take a couple 200s from Baku to swing that lead back. As that lead is just slightly given over to Baku, as Einar gains their accuracy back, almost up with Polytetra's accuracy, as Nanon and Polytetra are almost tied with the accuracy, as Shoko with a 99.4. I believe someone dropped a 100 there. I do not know who it was, but I think it was someone on Baku. As this is the part I'm talking about, and Nanon dropping on that long note. You want to pay attention to the melody in the background, and these those little jump trill bursts there doesn't help either. But besides Nanon's little long note drop before getting to this part, everyone seemed to not have any problems with it. Although Einar did drop down to a 98, they have the leads with Nanon's sad drop there. It's going to take even just maybe a couple 200s to swing that lead over to Baku, but I don't think it's going to happen, as Polytetra and Einar keeping that FC, and as we head into the final, and that's going to seal the deal, as Mumei's voicemail have their match point. And look at a 3-way FC, and Shoko not dropping any 200s at all, and Polytetra with a clean FC, just only one 200. I mean, not one 200, one 100, and 12 200s. As everyone seems to have a fairly decent score here. And it is now Baku's pick. We have not seen any LNs or hybrids coming out. So, actually, we saw a ban of one long note, but we could maybe that could potentially change, as we might see see a long note pick or a hybrid, as we only have 2 rice picks left, and the SB picks are gone now, as they pick hybrid 2, which is power stance.
I'm so excited.
As I believe Polytetra is going to be swapped out with online, and as I believe Nanon also got swapped out with Haven as well. As the MP start has been thrown, and this is one of Baku's chances to stay alive here, as this is match point for Mumei's voicemail. If Mumei's voicemail takes this point, we're going to have to say goodbye to Baku, as Mumei's voicemail moves on to either versus the Quiche Janitors or Deadbeats, which you will find out just about an hour and a half from now. But still, do not give up hope on Baku yet, as we have probably seen some reverse
I'm
sweeps,
so excited.
as these releases are not going to give anyone any favors.
Battle focus.
And we're gonna see a drop from Shoko and Einar,
Don't stand a chance. You see that dance?
but Baku has that slight lead, with Einar dropping lots of accuracy, dropping down to a 98.8, but Shoko still keeping that 99 lead. But Paven drops, and that's gonna give Mumei's voicemail the lead, as Online has a 99.66, as Einar climbs back up to a 99.0. And this map is more bursty, as you just saw, and Ashoko drops again. And as we head into our little break here, as we're just a little over halfway through the map, as Mumei's voicemail has that slight lead, it's going to take just more than one combo break to slide that lead over to Baku, as there is still map left here for any slip-ups. As we head into one of the final burst sections, this will most likely settle the deal here, as that lead is, and Paven drops, but that was a Bancho side, so Paven did not drop, but Einar did drop. That is not from Bancho, but Shoko trades it back. This is going to be tight, as there's not enough map left, and Mumei's voicemail is
What is this music?
take your brooms out, as Mumei's voicemail sweeps Baku, and is going to move on. And what is that from Online? 6 200s from Online, and Paven with that one drop. I didn't even see, but Paven would have gotten a V1 double S if it wasn't for that drop. But Mumei's voicemail is going to take it, and they will be moving on to playing. And by the way, once you're in the losers bracket in quarterfinals, you're gonna have to play 2 matches now, not one. Only if you're in the losers bracket. So Mumei's voicemail is going to move on to either versus the Quiche Janitors or Deadbeats, as we're unfortunately going to have to say goodbye to Baku. And there you have it, as Mumei's voicemail wins their match. And they will go on to the next to their next losers quarterfinals match, which will be somewhere this weekend, as we just wait for the Quiche Janitors and Deadbeats to have their match, which ironically is in just an hour and 18 minutes from now, I believe. Yeah, just an hour from now, an hour and 18 minutes, we'll see our next match, which is the Quiche Janitors and Deadbeats. But any closing remarks from myself? I'm Walmart5193, and thank you everyone for watching Holomania. And get up, have a stretch, drink some water. Don't just spend all day just sitting down and watching this. You guys also have lives too. But anyways, see you all later. See you next time.